It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to the Travel and Cruise Industry Podcast, coming to you from Winchester in the UK on this, what is today? Monday, January the 20th. Boy, we're getting right along here, folks. All right, so this is going to be a somewhat unusual show, guys. We're going to actually, Hot Air Tom's going to join me here in a second, and we're going to talk primarily about what we're doing for the next couple weeks. And he's got all that straight. I don't. But we're going to talk about what's up until then. In the meantime, we're going to talk a little about what we've done the last couple of days. All right, so officially, this is Monday's Travel and Cruise Industry Podcast, brought to you by Will U.S., the owner of Scoot Around, and by Chillie's Cruises, live from Winchester. Is that where we are? Yeah, Winchester. Okay, we do have a couple stories to get after we talk about Chillie and Tom's adventures in London. We're going to talk about year-round cruises from Norfolk. Sun Princess itinerary changes again. Norwegian increases internet benefit. Disney Fantasy Dry Dock rescheduled. And the residents in Juneau are going to have a chance to discuss the plans up there. And lots more here at 11 o'clock back at home. That's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the UK. It's 4 p.m. It's dinner time almost. Definitely adult beverage time. Today, I'll get to this, the reason this is funny, but today is National Cheese Lovers Day. I thought it was ironic because somebody made kind of poke fun at me because I had a slice of cheese at breakfast yesterday, I think it was, one day. Well, that's what they had on the buffet was slices of cheese, or you got the round block of cheese that's coated with wax, and you have to unwax it before you can eat it. And so I just got a slice of cheese. I wanted it with breakfast. And I said it was awful that I didn't have, I don't know, cut cheese or melted cheese or anyway. Today's National Cheese Lovers Day. Also, this day in 1964, this couldn't be possible. I can't make this stuff up, folks. In 1964, the Wisconsin Cheese Foundation sponsors the making of the world's largest block of cheese ever made. At midnight, the process began at Steve's Cheese in a factory near Denmark, Wisconsin. The problem is there's no reporting on what happened. Did they make a big ass block of cheese or not? They don't say. But that's what happened. All right, if you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net. I'm even now want to do some Facebook Lives, turning those into podcasts as well. So I give you a little extra few things that you can watch when we get around to it. So, let's see. What else this morning? That's all I have today. All right. So we're going to get down to the business at hand. First of all, if you guys didn't see it over the weekend, I have a video up that is Best Plans Go Awry or something like that. Okay. You got to watch it. There's just no way around it. You got to watch it. It's 25 minutes long. My thought was I'd play it on today's show. That's too long to play on the show. But you need to go watch it because it's as good a piece as I've ever created. And it's entirely true with the trials and travails we had getting from Southampton to Winchester, and it's only like 12 miles or something. We could have walked it. All right. In the meantime, a few little things to show you from yesterday and today. Yesterday, well, first of all, let's back up. Hot Air Tom, the end of this video I'm telling you to go watch. Best laid plans go awry. Okay, the end of that, we end up in a rental car, which was the plan, part of the plan. Not the car we had anticipated, but it was. We got a car. So Hot Air Tom is going to be after he stuffs me in the car, he has to take the chair apart in a couple pieces to get it in the car, and then before he can pull me out of the car, he's got to get the chair out and put it back together. Okay, and then do things like, it's a very low car, and I have trouble getting my bad leg in. So Hot Air Tom's got to help. I mean, he's got to get down there and help lift my leg up. So, and Hot Air Tom is doing a marvelous job. He's also doing a marvelous job driving on the wrong side of the road. Scares the crap out of me because all of a sudden I got stuff right in my head. But he's doing fine. I'm about to panic, but he's doing a great job. So anyway, this is he actually did this morning as he was putting together before he took off on our adventure today.
Okay, we're going to show how Chillie's chair comes apart for transport. So, reach down, unlock it so I can roll it back so we can open the door. And then we reach under here and there's a lever to lift up. Fold the back of the chair down. Lift up. And it pops right off. It's carefully loaded into the car. Not to invoke his joystick. That's in. And then the part where his feet goes lifts up with a handle. So rather than carry this, I'm just going to roll this back. And then we do a little bench press. This was supposed to be an SUV, which would have made it easier. But we're making do. Voila! Piece of cake. And there you have it, folks.
Okay, I had not watched this. Didn't realize that Hot Air Tom didn't have a microphone and was not projecting toward the phone so we could hear him because he's never done this kind of stuff before. But anyway, you could see what he goes through. Now that is every time we get in and out of the car. So, and literally me getting in the car is extraordinarily painful on my left side, which is why I have to have the assistance. So he's doing a hell of a job, folks. Honest to goodness, a hell of a job. All right. So yesterday we went to Winchester Cathedral. And when I got inside the cathedral, I very quietly made a little, actually did a little live inside to show you guys what it looked like, but it was very quiet.
All right, I'm going to do this very quietly, folks. I am inside Winchester Cathedral. And there's some statuary behind me on both sides. But look at this view, folks. One of the most famous views in the world of Winchester Cathedral. Just absolutely breathtaking. All right, I'll be putting a video together tonight that'll have this clip on it and a bunch of pictures we've taken outside. As you can tell, the weather's not very good. But at Winchester Cathedral in Winchester in the UK.
All right. I do have some more pictures to share with you, and I'm going to editorialize a little bit. However, let's take a quick break from one of our fine network sponsors first. Okay, thank you to whatever sponsor that was. I have determined something on this trip, which to me was astounding. I've all along, I've shared with you guys everything. My health issues, all the awful, nasty stuff I've gone through. I've just laid it out on the table. It helps me heal. It helps me do what I want to do. It helps me be a better person. So, I'm perfectly honest and open about my life, good and bad. Two moving things have happened this trip for me. Not so much today, but yesterday at Winchester Cathedral and the day I spent with Roger at the Gulbenkian Museum in Lisbon. Both instances, I could tell that all the things I've done in my life, all the things I've seen in my life, I was just looking at things. I wasn't seeing them. And for these two instances, I was seeing them. I was emotionally involved. All my senses were involved with either being around Rembrandts and Rubens and Monets and phenomenal artwork and statues and all the things I saw at the Gulbenkian. And then to be in Winchester Cathedral with just breathtaking beauty has been just awesome for me. So hopefully that feeling of really seeing things will continue as we see more things here in the next couple of weeks. There's a lot I'd share that. Okay, so let's see. We were talking about the Winchester Cathedral. I do have a couple pictures from that. These were inside. But there's hot air. Tommy's taking a picture of me. Can you imagine such a thing? And there's another picture inside. All right. Then today, we went to, where did we go today? We went to, that was yesterday. That was in Winchester. And today we went up to, we were going to visit Stonehenge. Okay, so that was a little bit of a trek. And that's the church. That's what I'm doing backwards. Okay, so you're going to get the second part of it. We ran over to Salisbury after we went to Stonehenge, and we saw another cathedral. This is the cathedral at Salisbury, which was as magnificent and probably larger than Winchester. And quite frankly, folks, we did not go inside. We spent a good bit of time at Stonehenge. Knew we had to get back here to do the show. And it was like $25 to visit another cathedral. So we walked around outside. We took some pictures. This Hot Air Tom took this one. You can see me sitting there in a chair. But it was equally as magnificent a cathedral. Now I see why our friend that gets all the churches and her travels over here, I see why she does that stuff now. It's because it's just, it's mind-boggling. It really is. All right, so now, is this going to be in the right direction? No, I got to jump up here. All right, so we got to jump up here to Stonehenge. All right, Stonehenge, this was at the visitor center, and they had a presentation. They had these cool movie things that were 30, 40 feet wide on the walls. Number of things with information on them about Stonehenge. We're talking about, something that's 5,000 years old. We're talking about cremains that they've uncovered of someone 4,000 years ago. We're talking about skeletal remains that have been uncovered here from a gentleman that was 4,500 years ago, and they were able to recreate what he looked like, and they had his actual face like a normal person there on display. Just awesome. And then this was where I guess the kind of living that the workmen who built this thousands of years ago lived in, that were there on site. And then we rolled out to Stonehenge. And you actually took a little bus. It would have been a little bit long for me to roll, but so they had a shuttle bus that got you. This is right after we got off the shuttle bus, and you can see them off in the distance here. So we had to roll up to get a little closer, and you can see it's still cold. And it's really cold. And I have gotten just chilled to the bone cold this week. So I'm 10 minutes outside, and I'm freaking freezing again. Hot Air Tom wants to do something, and I'm turning blue. But, we're getting there. But anyway, Stonehenge was just absolutely magnificent. And the stories behind it, and I'm not going to go into all that now, on how it was done and how it was built and how the thing goes with the sun. And it's a pretty impressive story. And one of the, it's one of the wonder cities of the world that you can, visit. So it's Stonehenge. That's right where we were today. So, and then that's one of the villages. That's the village as we went on to Salisbury. So, all right. Before we get to the news, I decided that I would bring in Hot Air Tom, but before I do that, we're gonna do this real quick.
We have the equipment you need to stay mobile. Whether you need a wheelchair, scooter, power chair, rollator, oxygen, or other pieces of mobility equipment, Scootaround, powered by Will, can help. Once you've booked your rental, we can deliver it to wherever you need. For your mobility needs, contact me or call Scootaround at 888-441-7575. Use SRN 11137 for the best rates.
Ooh, I didn't cut that off. Wonder what happened. Okay, let's get around. Now, you can see that's Hot Air Tom. For those of you that don't know him, Hot Air Tom. Some people have asked, especially this trip, some people have asked how we got the name Hot Air Tom, and it goes back, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. I don't know, a long time ago. He did a live stream on this show from a hot air balloon. And then like 3 weeks later, he did a parasailing, did parasailing live stream on my show. And we started calling him Hot Air Tom, and it stuck. I have trouble saying that the man's name is Tom Henry. I can only say Hot Air Tom. Hot Air Tom, you've been taking care of the schedule. Not taking care of me, obviously, and the driving, which we got to turn the car in tomorrow, by the way. We're going to London tomorrow. But Hot Air Tom's going to tell you what we're going to be doing. So, Tom, take it away.
So just to make it a little short, we'll just go over the next leg of the trip in London. So tomorrow morning, we need to take the car back to Enterprise Rental, which we have a EV, fully electric, and it was convenient. The hotel has a plug, and right now it's plugged into their EV outlets, charging up. So it recoups everything we drove today. And we managed to get back here with only one minor turn. We ended up on the M3 highway, which I wanted to avoid. I wanted to do smaller roads. And we got on the M3 going the wrong way and went 12 miles out of our way till we could get off and come back. But we got here in time for Chillie to get the show ready, so that's good. So tomorrow morning, we take the car back, and the rental place is in the same basic building as the train station, so that'll be convenient. So I figure if we give ourselves about half an hour to get from here to there and turn it in, the train is 10:48. So I'll probably leave here between 9 and 9:30. As Chillie said before on the other video, there's not much heat in the waiting room, so we don't want to get there too early or Chillie's going to freeze.
Yeah. And
our train from Winchester to the Waterloo station in London leaves at 10:48, and it's about a 1 hour journey. And then we'll be doing tubes, so we'll have to find the London Oyster ticket card to buy that, from what I understand, you can get them from the vending machines and load up so much so you can do the trips, because we'll be traveling on the tube somewhat. And
I will say one thing about the train. It's only about, I don't know, 6 or 8 inches higher than the platform, and they have these neat little ramps for me to go up. And the guy, even the girls, because I had one of them that the girl did it, just set the ramp down and just go zip right in the car, and I turn in, and I've got a little, place for a wheelchair, and I just get set in. It's great. It's really easy.
You didn't mention anything about the bus. I've never seen a wheelchair accessible bus like that didn't have some kind of lift, but they just had the same thing. It was built right into the bus floor that they flipped out this. The bus was really low and it kneeled, but they flipped out this plate, and they had a little ramp to get into the bus, and a spot to park.
That was up at Stonehenge, yeah.
So anyway, in London, we'll be staying at the Intercontinental Hotel that's near Green Park, and it's a stone's throw from Buckingham Palace. We moved from a previous reservation in the Holiday Inn in Kensington because looking at the tube maps, it shows you wheelchair. There's 2 levels: wheelchair accessible from the street to the platform, or wheelchair accessible from the street to the train. And I think that just means that the train is even. You can take the wheelchair right on the train without one of the ramps Chillie was talking about. But the line that goes to Green Park is the Jubilee line. It's 2 stations from Waterloo, which makes it convenient because we'll be using Waterloo later in the discussion here. And I didn't realize until I was doing some research the other night, the Elizabeth line is brand new. It was only opened a couple of years ago in 2022. And it ends up going to, what's the name of the station, or the town where I'm drawing a blank, Liverpool.
Oh yeah,
I was trying
where the Beatles are.
Yeah, the Beatles. And the station isn't in there. It's just called Liverpool Station. And from what I saw in Google, that's the busiest train station in all of the UK. But we'll be doing that later on when I get here. But I just wanted to say I'm excited to see the Elizabeth line because it's new, so it's going to look a lot more modern. And from what the descriptions say, that all the lifts on their stations are flat from street to car, so it ought to be pretty neat for Chillie to go motoring along there. So we'll take the tube from Waterloo to the Green Park, which looks to be about 9/10 of a mile from the hotel, and then we'll have a little bit of a walk down the street to the hotel and check in. And I don't have any other plans, so we can sort of rest tomorrow evening after that ordeal. Now, tomorrow is going to be somewhat busy. We have a long walking tour from Viator that will encompass the changing of the guard and the usual things people see around Big Ben and along the river down to London Bridge, Tower London. And then we'll have a couple hour break that we'll probably hang out somewhere. Maybe grab a pint, because we will be waiting to go for dinner on a dinner cruise down the Thames from the port boat terminal that's right there by the Parliament and Big Ben area.
And this is tomorrow.
This is Wednesday.
Wednesday.
So we're not doing any activities other than basically getting from here to there tomorrow. So
okay.
So
Wednesday's the busy day, which might also be problematic for the show.
That's true. So good point. So we'll have to figure that out.
Not sure what I'm going to do Wednesday. We'll play that one by ear. Maybe tape a show. I don't know. I'll come up with a plan.
And then Thursday, we're going to visit my Facebook friend that I met on Traveling with Bruce, Vivian, who lives in Lowestoft, England. And that is along the North Sea. And if you have an idea where Amsterdam is on the other side of the North Sea, it's about straight due west from there. So we'll be taking a train, and we have one changeover on the way in Norwich, but that leaves the train station that we were talking about with the Beatles. I can't remember Liverpool. Yes, and that's somewhat lengthy, so we'll have hopefully a nice relaxing ride along the countryside, and maybe the sun will pop out. We actually saw the sun today for a couple minutes.
Yeah, 3 or 4 minutes. It was, a couple times.
First time.
A total of maybe 6 minutes of sunshine in England all day.
And then Chillie, on the way back, we passed this huge solar farm, and I'm thinking, well, that doesn't seem like it's real practical with what we're experiencing here.
There was a solar farm, folks, had to have 25,000 panels. It was huge. How much electricity can generate with 7 minutes of sun a year?
So that's Thursday. We're visiting Viv, and then Friday we're going to go to Windsor Castle, which I didn't realize this before looking at the map. Windsor Castle isn't too far from Heathrow, so we'll be taking the tube back to Waterloo again, and we got train tickets booked to take us to the station at Windsor Castle, and we got a few hours to nose around there before we head back, and that's all that's planned that day. And then Friday, that was Friday.
Yeah, that's Friday.
Saturday, I don't think I have anything particularly booked. Chillie wanted to see some museums, and I didn't get tickets yet, so it was just figure everything else is busy. We'd play it by ear basically, but couple ideas were to see the Museum of Natural History, the British Museum, Churchill War Rooms. I thought the Churchill War Room sounded interesting. And then on Sunday, we will check out and we go to St. Pancras International train station, which is again only a couple tube stops from the hotel, so it's fairly convenient. And we'll get the Eurostar going under the channel to Paris. And then the next part of the story is in Paris for 5 nights, but I think I've talked enough today. So I would like to say one thing that's neat, and for anybody that has done training in Europe, you probably are aware of this, but I had bought us both the Eurail pass. I did first class, and it turns out it doesn't benefit Chillie so much because the handicap chair seats are not in the first class. But so I sat there, and in fact, the train that I was on, not only without Chillie, but I had the whole car to myself. There wasn't a soul in that particular car, so plenty of room for me and my luggage and Chillie's computer bag. But it's neat. They have a rail planner app, and I wasn't sure how it worked and what we need to do. But you basically decide how many days out of a period of time. So I picked the price range for five days of trips, and they don't need to be consecutive, just 5 days. And like a 30-day period. You can pick it all within Great Britain, or you can pick the Europe region, and prices vary based on that. And I probably could have done cheaper, as it turned out, because all our train trips that we're using are within Great Britain. I was going to try to do the Eurostar. You got to reserve seats, and there's extra charges, and it wasn't in the schedule at that point. And looking on the website at Eurostar, the darn tickets weren't that expensive, and I figured I'd just buy the tickets for us. I think it was about $100 each way for the two of us.
Yeah.
And so when I started planning out our days here, I had to wait. When did I do that? Sometime mid-December, maybe. They finally had the schedules loaded into the Eurail system. It was a little slower than if you went to the train like the Southwest Rail home website. But I was able to pick the time, and Chillie and I both have different ticket from the Eurail tickets, and you just apply what train you want to each one of us. I didn't come back with any ticket or anything or like the save, so I wasn't sure what it was going to do. But I went through and booked all the tickets that we were going to do throughout the 5 days, and lo and behold, just while we were the last couple of days of the cruise ship, before we got off, I happened to look at the app, and it said my tickets, and each day that I had picked, you could click the day, and it had the QR codes for the tickets. So I thought, well, okay, now we know. I can just pull that up for the conductor, and I started doing some screenshots because I can go from one screenshot to the other for the two of us fairly quickly. But in the app, I need to sort of back up out of mine and get into Chillie's, and it took a little bit longer to do that. So, although on the way here, nobody looked at our tickets, so it was such a fiasco that we might not have bought any tickets, and it was all on them. But
yeah, that's all part of the video that you got to go watch, folks.
Yeah,
if you don't know the story, you got to watch the video. And you'll enjoy it. I promise you, you'll get a laugh. So. All right, hi there, Tom. Thank you very much. And thank you for everything you've done for me. It's just astonishing.
It's been a lot of fun.
And we're just starting.
And Cindy's trained me well on how to take care of a person in a wheelchair.
Yep, she has. All right, I'll be back with a few news stories after this.
Be on one of the first MSC ships to go to Alaska when we sail May 25th, 2026 on the MSC Poesia round trip from Seattle. 7 nights going to Ketchikan, Icy Strait Point, Juneau, and Tracy Arm Fjord, and a stop in Victoria, Canada on the way back to Seattle. Inside cabin start at $849 per person, balcony from $1289 per person. The MSC Poesia going to Alaska. Why not join us I promise you we'll have a great time. Just call me, 434-258-9264, and we'll cruise with Chillie to Alaska.
All right, so that gets us now down to actually the news portion of today's show. Goodness, we're 35 minutes in and just now getting to the news. That might be a record. So the first story today comes from our friends over at Carnival. And this isn't any kind of a major story, folks, except I wanted to make it one. So, but the Carnival Sunshine is launching a rear. Wow. My tongue's not working yet. It's frozen. The Carnival Sunshine is launching a year-round deployment out of Norfolk in February, following a dry dock in Europe. We're going to have year-round sailing now. An hour from hot air time and like 3 hours from me. But it's just the Carnival Sunshine. But that's a start. The new cruise schedule includes 5, 6, and 8-night itineraries to the Caribbean, the Bahamas, and Bermuda. So congratulations to Norfolk. Glad that they are definitely coming up in the world. So glad that they are definitely what happened? Coming up in the world. So glad. Okay, so I'm not sure what happened here, folks. Let's try to take that
Now, it fixed itself.
Okay. All right, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, but that's not matching with the camera, what you're hearing. All right, so let's try doing this and coming back here. Can you still hear me? Hot Air Tom's got his headset on. Are you hearing me now? Are you hearing me? Okay. All right, so back to normal here, folks. I'm not sure what I did something wrong when the switch over there. All right. Let's try to get to the second story today, which has to do with another ship, the Sun Princess. July 29th sailing is an 11-night voyage from Civitavecchia to Barcelona, arriving on August the 9th. Guests received a notification about the itinerary change as follows. And what the princess said was, please be advised that due to cruise ship congestion, that's the new fallback thing, folks. Cruise ship congestion in Genoa, Sun Princess will no longer call on Genoa on Sunday, August 3rd. Will instead call on Malaga, Spain on Tuesday, August the 5th. As a result, we will now call on Marseille, France on Sunday, August the 3rd, rather than Monday, August the 4th, and call times have been amended on our visit to Gibraltar on Wednesday, August the 6th. Now, don't ask me why all that's necessary, and I find rather confusing. This means that one port cancels, that's Genoa, however you pronounce it. 2 ports shifted to different days, that'd be Malaga and Marseille, and a 4th port with a time adjustment on the same day, that's Gibraltar. During the same cruise, 5 other ports will remain the same. Sun Princess only has 2 full days at sea during that sailing, and they're allowed to change that. On many of the ship's Greek island sailings, Santorini and Kotar in Montenegro are being removed, with Bar in Montenegro, Mykonos, Greece, and Chiana in Greece substituted as alternatives when available. The exact timing of the changes varies based on the ship's departure date and local availability of berth space. The main reason being given for these messy changes is overall port congestion, which can be a problem in many destinations as cruise ships get more numerous and have larger passenger capabilities. For example, on Tuesday, July 22nd, Sun Princess was originally scheduled for Santorini with MS Divina and Odyssey of the Seas also in port. Combined, the three ships can bring in as many as 13,000 guests to that port. Instead, Sun Princess will now be visiting Mykonos on July 22nd with three other ships in port, Voyager of the Seas, MS Lyrica, and Costa Falciosa. The four ships combined have a passenger capacity in excess of 14,000 travelers. This might seem contradictory, but local population, resorts, and other tourist traffic must also be taken into account with respect of whether or not a cruise ship can be comfortable in the port of call. Exact port times can also have great impact, with some ships arriving early while others plan evening visits. I wouldn't want to be making those kind of decisions, but and I don't agree with some of the things that they do, but I guess it has to be done as we get bigger and bigger ships. Again, I'm an old-fashioned guy. I like the smaller ships myself, but that's me. All right. So the next story today, keeping in touch while at sea is more and more important to cruise travelers, whether they want to touch base with family members at home, stay connected with the preferred news sites, or do a bit of remote work from remote locations. And that's what I do. I mean, I do the same thing on cruise ships that I do when I'm sitting at home. So, yeah, I'm doing remote locations. So this is very important to me. Norwegian Cruise Line is now making it easier than ever for guests on longer sailings to stay connected. The More at Sea program offers a range of amazing benefits, including 300 minutes per guest on all sailings 12 nights or longer. Well, that's great, except I need 10 times that, but that's okay. Not many people are in my situation. It's nice for those people that were getting the old 4 package deals and having 150 minutes. This takes them up to 300 minutes. So I understand what Norwegian's doing. And for once, I kind of agree with what they're doing. So, oh yeah, I was supposed to switch that to Norwegian as well. I had the wrong picture up for the next story. All right, so what that picture is supposed to be with this story, the dry dock schedule of Disney Fantasy has been updated, prompting Disney to cancel 4 sailings from late October to mid-November 2025 due to an unplanned change in the scheduled dry dock dates for the Disney Fantasy. The sailing is no longer available, which was in a letter dated to the passengers on January the 15th. The cruises departing on the following days on board Disney Fantasy have thus been canceled. These cruises are canceled, folks, August 20th, November 2nd, November 7th, and November 12th. The October 27th is a 13-night transatlantic voyage from Southampton to Port Canaveral, while November cruises were supposed to take guests from Port Canaveral to the Bahamas over 4 and 5 night periods. And our last news story today, folks, comes from up in Juneau. We've talked about this a bunch of times, but the residents of Juneau will have the opportunity to learn more about the Huna Totem Corporation proposal to build a 5th cruise ship dock in downtown Juneau. The corporation and the city are planning 2 joint meetings at the City Hall next week, allowing the public to provide feedback on the projects. One of the biggest complaints that they've had up there is the residents were having no say in what was being planned by the cruise lines and by Huna. And some of that has been at ends with each other, at odds with each other. So they're going to get the public involved, which is a good thing. All right, that's actually going to wrap up the news portion of today's crazy show, coming to you from Winchester Cathedral. No, we're not the cathedral anymore. So let's go see who's in the chat room and who's fussing at me for eating cheese or whatever you're fussing at me about today. Oh, we got some people from X. Always good to have some folks from X. And nobody in the chat room can see what you're saying, but feel free to always send comments to me because I get to see it. But that says cool. Then Love It says, how are you doing? What's the life for? Well, this is a travel and cruise industry news channel. We talk about travel of all sorts, and I'm currently on a trip, which I try to do as much as possible. All right, so there's Hot Air Tom. He was just on the show, wasn't he? Or did I dream that? Hello, everyone, from our hotel room at Voca. Oh, yeah, that's one thing I was going to tell you guys. Voca Hotel and Spa in Winchester, England. So this used to be a Holiday Inn Express, and they're rebranding to Voca. And I asked somebody, well, where the hell did Voca come from? It started in Australia. And I don't know why it's caught on. So they're rebranding to Voca. I need to talk to somebody to really find out the ins and outs of what Holiday Inn is doing. I mean, this is a lovely hotel, no matter what you call it. It's still kind of like a Holiday Inn Express. The food's good. The bar is great. One thing I didn't say on today's show, I did in the video, is the booze here. It's very inexpensive. They don't think it because they think it's expensive to have a drink here. But I'm paying exactly half of what I pay at home for the same booze. So that to me is awesome. All right. Hot Air Tom said something else. We are back from our drive to Stonehenge and into Salisbury to see the Salisbury Cathedral. Yes, indeed. All right. So there's Sonny. Sonny down in Mississippi says, hello, Chillie, Tom, and all. What time is it there? It is currently 4:47 p.m. It's cocktail time. It's time for me to go have a cocktail. All I have is a Diet Coke. And by the way, folks, see how Diet Cokes come? I feel like glass bottles. They still have glass bottles. I haven't seen those in years. All right, there's Gary Older than Dirt. Gary Older than Dirt got back home. Good morning, all, or good afternoon to you guys. Thanks, Gary. Actually, I found out that Gary and Roger were on the same plane. So, anyway, it was good to see both of them on a cruise. And also Bonnie. I don't know if Bonnie's traveling today. She's on her way home now. She's on a plane right now, as a matter of fact. But after years, that went down the wrong pipe. After years, for Bonnie to be able to get back on a cruise ship was pretty impressive. And when we go home on the Bliss in a couple of weeks here, Amico John, Nanoka the North John, is going to be with us. He also hasn't cruised for a while. So always good to get people back out there. Bob's with us. Good morning, Bob. 16 degrees this morning, Doug. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, it hasn't been 16 degrees here. But it's been in the 30s with some wind and around water. And that's plenty cold. I know, not for everybody, but boy, it is for me. So, and once I got chilled through, I was best I can figure in the whole disaster of getting from Southampton here, I was probably outside for something in the neighborhood of 3 hours plus in the cold. And I got literally chilled through to the bone. And yes, I've gotten warmed up several times, but as soon as I get back in the cold again, it takes like 10 seconds and I'm freezing. So, yeah. There's Emily. Emily says hello to everyone. It's always good to see you. Katie's with us. Says good morning from Chillie, Orlando. I made it back home from another cruise on Utopia. Amazing ship. Did you the video of the new Amsterdam ship? Of the new Amsterdam ship? You're talking about the Rotterdam, the New Holland America. You call it the New Holland America ship. That's about 4 years old now. 3 or 4 years old. It's not new. I mean, it's new opposed to the rest of their line, but it's a couple years, maybe 3 years ago, when it was started. I don't remember the exact date, but yeah, that's the Rotterdam is the newest Holland America ship. Emily says 2 of us were making fun of you. That was eating the piece of cheese. Okay. Well, that's all right, making fun of me. I don't mind that at all. So, but I wanted a piece of cheese. What can I say? And I didn't want to go through the hassle of unwaxing it. Love you anyways. Thanks, them, of course. There's Roger. Roger back in Jacksonville, at least for now. Hi from Jacksonville. The twins are there too. Cold night on the boat last night. Yes, it was. Another ex-person, Fax CB, says hi. Hi, back at you. Emily says, maybe I'll make my English muffin pizza. English muffin pizza? Are you serious? You take an English muffin and put pizza stuff on it, so it's a small, like a little bite-sized pizza. That would be yummy. I like that. I used to have a bar in Pittsburgh, which was my favorite hangout place that I went to every night, just about. And they did pizza bagels. So they had bagels there and did a pizza on it with a couple pieces of pepperoni and sauce and cheese. And it was great food. Love that. English muffin pizza. I've never done it on an English muffin, but boy, I like that idea. They're scratching up Mohio. I'm up at the hospital listening through earbuds. Fred's in recovery for skin cancer, plastic surgery. Probably will have to leave any minute. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but if that's something he wanted to do, then I'm glad it's getting done. Best plans go awry. Funny video. I thought so too. I've sat now and listened to it a couple times, and that was just all from the heart, right off the cuff. There was no real planning. That was exactly what had happened, and I was just trying to relate it as kind of as straight as I could. It's just a funny story. So I'll look forward to your video when we get home. Good. You gotta watch it. It's 25 minutes and it's well worth it. Hope Fred recovers fast, Sonny says. Emily says, I am up and about. Cleaning lady is here. I fed Fiona and we have snow. So guess who is shoveling? Breakfast first. Yes, I understand that, Emily. Thankfully, we have not had snow. We've had plenty of cold. Oh, he's coming out from general anesthesia. Doc talked to me about 20 minutes ago. I'm surprised I haven't been called to go back yet. Gretchen says, thanks, Sonny. Roger says the wheelchair experience at Gatwick was interesting. They wheeled me to a disability area inside the security area. Then they told me it would be 90 minutes until someone collected me. Wow. Todd's with us, says, good morning, everybody. Hi, Todd. How much does each piece weigh? Oh, and the chair. The chair total is 118 pounds. So the seat is probably 35 or so, maybe 40. So that would leave the base pieces at 65 pounds. Now, those two pieces can come apart. So each of them are like 30, 35 pounds. But it's hell to get them apart and it's hell to get them back together. Now, I'm not sure I have the wherewithal in to stand long enough to show how they're taught how to take them apart and put them back together. And when he says I can handle it in one piece, as long as it's not killing his back, it's a lot easier than taking those two pieces apart. But yeah, Emily, what Tom has done is just incredible. In as far as taking care of me, basically. I mean, there's things that I need. There's things that I can't do for myself. Even though I travel solo all the time, there's still, I pretty much created things so that I don't have those things that I have to do when I'm solo. But like getting in and out of that car, I mean, that's that low a car, I would never put myself in that position. Number one, it's painful to ball my leg up and get it in there. And I don't have the strength to hold it up long enough to get twisted around and get it in. I don't bend that way. So they're doing a little bit of work, a little bit of helping me. And it works. It saves us some time. Now, there's a couple times I've been able to get back out on my own. And once I was able to get in and get my leg in on my own. But the other times, Otter has had to help me. That's just part and parcel with being a person with a disability. Emily says, smash the like button. Yes, I would appreciate that. I collected you. Roger. Yeah, Gretchen says that. Think that's funny. Honey, Sonny says HAES, Tom's new valet service. That's about it. Yeah. I mean, I fuss at him because he's all the time saying, I'll take the suitcases. No, you won't. You've got your own stuff to deal with. So, but he did take my computer bag, which I have lightened it. So he's not adding much weight and he slides it over his suitcase. So I'm just dealing with my one suitcase as opposed to the suitcase in the computer bag, which did have a tendency to cut my fingers off. So it is helpful with that. But yeah, I'm not going to let him do all of that. So I take my suitcase when we're rolling, like we roll to the train station or whatever. You're quite a guy no matter what. Yes, indeed he is. All right. So after the collection, it would be half-mile electric cart ride for 5 disabled people to the gate. Wow. Those are great epiphanies, beautiful things in the world. I hope I get to experience some of those in England. Sonny, it's been just amazing. And I'm not the most emotional person in the world, but I've been really emotional several times just from the sheer wonder of what I'm witnessing. And it's been so, and let's face it, Sonny, I mean, this. My time left on this earth is much shorter than it's been. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to happen next week, but I realized that the majority of my life is over. And being able to do things like this with what time I've got left, I mean, that just keeps me going for more. And it's another reason why I do what I do, to get out and do things instead of stay at home and feeling sorry for myself. I mean, what the hell? I can feel sorry for myself anywhere and at least be having some joy in my life. So I go. And when my day comes, I will die a happy man. That's the only way around it. I'm ready when that happens, whenever it does. And a good bit of that is because of you guys and because of what I get to do and because of somebody like Hot Air Tom. So, yeah, when the time comes, it'll be with a smile on my face. All right. You are certainly accomplished. You've accomplished a hell of a lot. I know. You should be very proud of yourself. Well, yeah, keep rolling, Chillie. I know, Emily, I am, but, I don't like to look at it that way. I like to just, realize that what I'm doing is somewhat unusual. And there's other people in my situation that are doing the same thing. I mean, and people a lot worse than I. Look at Sylvia. Look at Christy. Look at what's her name? Giancarlo. I can't think of her first name now. That's awful. There's several people out there that are doing this, that are showing people that you don't have to sit at home and feel sorry for yourself. You get off your butt and you go do what you can do and get help for what you can't. And that's exactly how I live my life. So you're getting to see the higher power's hand in this. Isn't that the truth? I'm not a religious person, but I clearly believe the higher power is saying something to me. Understood. Good point, Sonny. There's Robin. Cold, snowy birthday in Pennsylvania. Happy birthday. Robin's always good to hear from you. Looking forward to you guys being on a cruise with me here shortly. Sonny says, happy birthday. Let's see here. Emily says, I can't believe Hot Air Tom joke. It's not a joke anymore. It's 5 or 6 years old. I don't know how long it's been. It's been a long time. It's been time where people literally around the world, they know him as Hot Air Tom. It's not just on our little channel. So that's pretty cool, I think. Gentlemen, I remember correctly, Chillie was joking around that Hot was blowing up the hot air balloons. Well, that could be too. I mean, I have been known to make fun of Hot Air Tom quite often and continue to do so. So, Tom's Travel Agency. And he says, yeah, take care of people like me. Wow, looky who's here. There's Vivian. Says, hi, Tom and Chillie. Vivian is here. We're going to see Vivian, as a matter of fact. Hot Air Tom mentioned that. Tom's an excellent tour guide. Oh, there's no doubt about it. Could I have done what he's done? Sure. But I would have had to work hard at it, And he's done all of this, and I just kind of sit back and say, okay, tell me where I got to be. And, we'll get there. So that's great. I love it. Fabulous traveling for me. I mean, driving a would drive him crazy. And I can't get over, folks. I'm a good driver, even in my physical condition. I'm a good driver. I am not sure I could comfortably have driven the 2 days in this part of England. Now, probably would be different in a city, but on these narrow country roads that sometimes are 2 lanes and all of a sudden go to 1 lane. I'm not talking about parking off the side of the road. I'm talking about parking in the middle of the lane you're driving in. Lane, and what the hell are you going to do? I mean, that happens. We've been through several of those. I'm not sure I could have comfortably driven over here. And he has been just masterful. I mean, I tease him about scaring the crap out of me. There's some things being, because it's so close to the left window, which is the driving window for me. But I never have anything that close to my face. And again, I'm low and that car at a different angle with a whole different window setup. So, I mean, it just feels like it's going to slap my face. It's strange. So Gary says, yep. He only says, I hear you. Hot Air Tom says, we're 5 hours ahead of you, so it's 5:30 p.m. Sonny, we're 5 hours. Yeah, 5 hours. It went to 6 and came back to 5. Hot Air says, hi, Vivian. Were your ears burning? Oh, ringing? You started the show today. Yes, you did, Vivian. Sonny, the funny thing is that France is an hour ahead of UK. So when we were on the Bliss, there we go. We lose an hour the first night across the English Channel to Le Havre. There you go. And then we gain. So time until we get to the Eastern Standard. Yeah. Tom, that's too much change in 2 short days. Oh, it was nuts coming over. We're changing an hour every night, it seemed like. I'll just leave the clock on England time. There you go, Chillie. Yep, like a small hand-sized pizza on an English muffin. I got to try that. I wonder if NCL might do that too. The ship is in port for 13 hours. We had a little late departure from Le Havre last week due to a late bus from Paris. Yeah, a couple of people didn't make their tour bus back. And they had the bus stayed as long as it could stay, and then had to leave to get everybody back. And then the people that missed the bus in Paris had to take a cab from Paris to Le Havre. I have no idea what that cost them, but it was probably more than they wanted to spend. Emily says, sorry, Gretchen, we'll pay for you and keep him in our thoughts. Yes, indeed. 118 pounds altogether. Wow. Now I know what a hot air time is. Yeah, that's why I can't do it. That's why I have the lift on my car. Because, yes, I could take it apart the way he's doing it and lift each one of those in, but my oxygen standing doesn't last long enough for me to do it. Because what you saw in that was probably 2.5, 3 minutes that it took him to do that. And to get it to the last 2 pieces apart and into the car would be another 2 minutes. So it's about a 4 to 5 minute proposition. I can't stand for 4 or 5 minutes, even with my portable oxygen going, and be able to be out of breath and gasping for air. So, that's why I spent, spent $1,800 to put that lift on the back of my car, so that, and I could get from, once I put my wheelchair on the lift and strap it down, which just takes about a minute, lift it up to the right height, turn the thing off, and get around to get in the car. I can do that without killing myself with oxygen. So that's why I've got the lift. Obviously, we don't have the chance of having a lift over here because they don't have lifts for everything. But what he's doing is just unbelievable, guys. Absolutely unbelievable. Wait till we get to see the church in Paris. Yeah, I know. What time was a typo? Should have been 4:38 when I said that. Okay. All right, thanks, Tom. I laughed when Chillie said 4. Yeah, I was right. He was wrong. What do you know? That's amazing. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. Thanks for being with me. This is a little bit unusual show. Have no idea what we're going to do Friday, but I'll come up with something. And I'll let you know. I might have to make some crazy announcements. We'll see what the schedule's going to be. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. Again, as always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. This is the last broadcast from Winchester. We'll see you next time from London. Unless there's something between here in London, like a live pop-up or something. We'll see. Who knows? All right. You guys have a great day, and I will see you on the rebound. Stay safe. Later, y'all.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chilliescruises.